Welcome to another episode of Let's Share. I'm Molly Dasobro, and in today's episode, we will be discussing teenage pregnancy. With me here is Madam Dora, a public health nurse and the adolescent focal person for the Upper East region. Welcome once again, Madam Dora.
Thank you.
Today we are talking about teenage pregnancy. What do you have for us surrounding that topic?
Well, per a simple definition, teenage pregnancy is a young girl getting pregnant within the ages of teen. But these days, we would rather want it called adolescent pregnancy. Because if you look at the ages of teen, it means from the 13s upwards. Mm-hmm. But we have mothers within the ages of as low as 9 years. So we are looking at the broader picture, which is the adolescent.
Okay, so Madam Dora, why is teenage pregnancy an issue?
Teenage pregnancy is an issue because we are talking about the future of a country, because they are the generation coming to take over from us. So obviously, every parent or every community where the young ones that are supposed to be in school to grow up to be productive start getting pregnant, it means they will be falling off from the school. So it's going to be of concern. Let me say that I wouldn't want to call it teenage pregnancy, because when we say teenage pregnancy, we are limiting it within the ages of 13 to 19, as the name goes, the teens. We've also realized that if we call it teenage pregnancy, we are going to lose out mothers or young ones who get pregnant as low as 9 years. So we will now consider it, or I would want to consider it as an adolescent pregnancy. And with adolescent pregnancy, then it means you'll be capturing those who are 9 years. And adolescent period is those the age between 10 to 19.
Okay. So what are the main factors contributing to the rise of teenage pregnancy?
That's a good question. There are so many factors, but I'll just limit it to just a few. Often, the first and foremost I see to be a problem is lack of parental care and guidance. Some parents do not even make time to communicate, to even know where their adolescents are at a given period of time, whether they've eaten or not. So they fall prey in attempt to be able to satisfy their needs. That is their basic needs, food and shelter. They fall prey and they become pregnant. The other thing too is that lack of adequate sexual and reproductive health information or services around the country in some communities. Hence, they are not well informed. And the other important thing or factor that brings about adolescent pregnancy is communities frowning against them accepting contraceptives to prevent pregnancy. That is to say, they do not allow them, or they don't see why a young person who is not yet married will go in and take contraceptives or to do family planning.
Oh, okay. So how is the SHARE project addressing these issues?
The SHARE project in the Upper East is addressing this issue in so many ways. First of all, at Ghana Health Service, yes, we have the staff that provide services. And we've done some bits of capacity building. But staff attraction is the issue here. As the years go by, people go to school, people go on transfer. Hence, we are losing those who were empowered to be able to give these services. So with SHARE, they are supporting with capacity building of the service providers to be equipped to be able to provide sexual and reproductive health services. They are also engaging parents and families in the community to see the importance of communicating SRH information with their children or wards at home, and also creating awareness about teenage pregnancy in the community and the reasons why they are occurring. They're also engaging traditional leaders. They are doing community meetings and forums. They have mentorship programs where the young persons themselves are being empowered, and they go through some series of education to be able to be empowered with SRH information so that they can be well informed.
So, Madam Dora, who or what are the focal points?
By saying focal point is wherever we give services. And you know, with the Ghana Health Service, we start from the chips in the community to the health center, to the hospitals, and then the regional hospital. So at every level of the community, we have service providers there. So by saying focal points is those interacting with the adolescents directly. So before we bring up a program to engage the adolescents, we ask these service providers at the grassroots who work with the adolescent to suggest possible sustainable programs or activities to engage these adolescents regarding the prevailing health issues. So when they give all over the region, then we put them together and see which of them appears most and which of them we can solicit for support for them to be reached. So with SHARE, the same thing is happening. They are meeting with the adolescents. So we identify these adolescents, put them in groups first with their clubs, where we take them through series of sessions on sexual and reproductive health, including general knowledge and life skills. Then amongst them, we're able to identify those who can be like mentors or mentees. And then they also take up from there, and then we meet them with services.
Okay. And how effective have these innovations worked? How effective have they worked?
So from the results we are getting and the data on teenage pregnancy, I would say it has been very effective because, first of all, we are involving adolescents. You have to remember that whatever you are doing for some group of people, you have to involve them. There should be nothing for the adolescent without the adolescents. Then they own it. They become part and parcel. They are able to share these informations on SRH amongst themselves. Let me just give a little bit of information concerning teenage pregnancy at this point. Before, in 2019, the region was one of the highest record of teenage pregnancies. We were recording somewhere 16 plus. And that is about the percentage of young girls who get pregnant within the total pregnant population you have. But as at last year, full year, we are around 12.6%.
Wow.
And the national target is 11.5. As at half year this year, we recorded 10.6%. And so this information keep going back to the district as feedback so that they will tighten loose ends, look at how to improve on some of the services and entice the adolescent so they get this information. And we are hoping that before the year end, we'll be able to, if not go below the national target, but maintain what we have.
So the region you are talking about is the Upper East region?
Yes, Upper East region.
Okay. So what more do you think needs to be done to reduce teenage pregnancy in the region?
I think we've reached a level where information is given. And with SHARE, they are only in 4 districts. And the Upper East region has 15 operational districts. Even with the 4 districts they are working in, it's not in all communities. So we are looking forward for SHARE to expand and then scale up and reach the whole of the districts in which they are working. So that this SRH information will reach every adolescent in every corner of the community. Then from there, we can look at scaling up to the other remaining 11 districts that are not enjoying it, even though we have some interventions on sexual and reproductive health services going on. But not all of them are using the approach that SHARE is using.
Madam Dora, you mentioned the SHARE is working in 4 districts, and I would want to find out, what is Ghana Health Service doing in the other 11 districts?
There's been some work going on. Obviously, we have our service providers down there. We engage them in SRH activities. And we have some other NGOs and CSOs also engaging some factions of communities in the remaining 11 districts. And with Ghana Health Service, our mandate is to reach them with information. And so we reach them with information, but not all. Remember I said in my previous information that we are losing staff because of what? Education, going to school and transfers. We need to train to refill back these people. And so we are meeting, staff are being trained, but not as SHARE is wholesale. SHARE is not engaging only Ghana Health Service. They are even training volunteers. They are engaging community members. It's holistic. Whereas in the other communities, it's 1 or 2 sites. It's Ghana Health Service and then these 8 other partners in the communities. Obviously, we believe that if that implementation is transferred to the remaining 11 districts, then we'll have a more effective reduction in adolescent pregnancies.
And how is Ghana Health Service planning on sustaining these interventions that has been done by SHARE and other NGOs?
Sustainability is very important. And so in Ghana Health Service, as the focal point, I am looking at what is happening in the 4 districts, engaging the district focal persons as to what is happening and keeping down my notes, looking for opportunities to also engage the other districts. However, for sustainability in those 4 districts, like I said, they are engaging volunteers, and volunteers are core partners in the community in terms of provision of service providers. Once their capacity has been built, we'll continuously engage them, even if SHARE packs their things and go away, so that it continues, it's maintained. And the parents that are also being engaged on SRH issues, we'll continuously engage them with the queen mothers and then the chiefs in the community.
If you're an adolescent out there and you need any information on your sexual reproductive health, do not hesitate to contact She Plus hotline on 0800 001 122 or any of the numbers on your screen. Thank you. How do you think we can curb adolescent pregnancy? Leave your answers in the comment section. Madam Dora, it has been interesting and I can say I've learned a lot from you. Now we have to term it adolescent pregnancy and not teenage pregnancy, if I'm right.
Yes.
And we all have to play a part in reducing the teenage pregnancy rates in the country and in the region as a whole. And also I felt, or as you mentioned, we have to be attentive to our young adolescents, and I have picked a lot of things from you today, which I would like our viewers to also pay attention to. It's now adolescent pregnancy and not teenage pregnancy. Catch us on our next episode of Let's Share. This is Molly Dasobre. Bye.